Good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming to listen to the class today. This is Misha. What are you going? Do you want to tell everybody what you're going to play, Misha?
I'm going to play MESSIAN. Le baiser de l'enfant Jésus.
Oh, look, beautifully said already.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So it's the case of the Jesus Christ, the baby Jesus Christ.
From the Van Regard.
Yes.
And I'm going to listen to you from down there, and then we'll come up and have a chat.
Okay.
Okay. I really loved the way Misha got the atmosphere, and what I like is to go and listen amongst everybody and sort of see what's coming over. You know, not just from up here, see how you can kind of control the atmosphere. And I thought you did that so well. Well done. How do you feel?
Yeah, well.
Better now?
A little bit.
Look, you know, isn't this the most incredible music? I think, I mean, you can play all of this. You know it. I feel that you know it well. What I would love to see is a little bit more kind of real attention to detail. Because actually, if you look at Messiaen's score, and how long have you been playing this? Is it fresh, or is it kind of something?
It's been on and off.
Okay,
but
then
recently I discovered it again. So
yeah, and on and off is also tricky at your age, I think. Well, I'm thinking of myself because it was like, oh, I've played that before, and then how to restart it, how to like still give it all the attention that it needs. So when you come to work on this, how do you approach it now? Where do you start?
just looking at the score.
No, but you know what I'm saying. It's tricky, isn't it? When you come to practice something that you've actually really invested all that early time. And it's now you've got to be looking again, because now you can play it, you know, you can get around, you can deliver a very good performance. But how much further can you go with it? I think that's the question I would maybe be asking myself if I were you. So when you look at the score, it's very hard to think, how do we look at the score? And MESSIAN is very, very fussy. Super fussy. And then you have to decide, are you going to actually just do everything that he asked? I mean, we have that with every single piece of music that we play, but some composers really, you know, if he gives you a stress on a note, as opposed to like a little pointy accent, what's the difference, and why did he make that difference? And that will be different on every piano that you play, but also emotionally, what are you, what's happening in your system? Do you see what I'm getting at a little bit? So are you very patient when you go to practice or not? You can be honest, it's fine. I'm not patient sometimes.
Not perfectly patient.
No. Yeah, okay. So do you feel you can just go to the piano, look at something like this that you know, and think, right, now I'm going to really study this piece, rather than I've learnt this piece, I'll just kind of get it back up. And that's really tricky for all of us. Particularly tricky, I think, at your age, where you want to keep moving and learning new stuff all the time, yeah? So should we just go through some of the things again, and then maybe, I think one thing just keep your eye on is, we spoke a little bit before we came in about the tempo, because MESSIAN has very slow markings, right? And if you don't do that, that's your choice, okay? But I think you need to be a bit more strict about the rhythm. You sometimes cut some corners.
Yeah.
And you have to decide that you know you're cutting the corners, i.e. that's what you want, or it's just happening and you're not aware. So I know when I practice this, every so often I'd put the metronome on, which I know sometimes we like, the metronome, but sometimes it just really keeps you in order. So are you playing, you know, a dotted quaver which includes 3 full semiquavers? Or are you just deciding it doesn't sound so good in that phrase? So, you know, you just have to somehow combine some discipline with what emotionally you want to do, with what MESSIAN is asking you to do and what you would like to do. And we'll see if we can find some balance in that maybe, yeah? So do you want to just try again from the beginning? So I mean, these first chords, they're just so hard, aren't they? And different on every single piano. So just really imagine the sound before you play it. Okay, so I'm going to be painful. My students will all say, that's exactly what she does, stop after like 3 notes. So you played the first chord, fine. Second chord didn't have much in relation to the first chord. You knew that as soon as you've done it. And we all do those things and then you have to fix it somehow. See if you can be really focused on 3 chords. Good. That was better. Can you hear the difference out there? So that they had just a little bit more focus. Are we going to the G sharp as well in our heads?
Yes, I think so.
In a way, yes.
Way it's a hairpin.
Yeah. Exactly. Without feeling kind of rushed. Every chord has got this stress on, so it's difficult. You've got a pianissimo, but you've also got a stress. It's a kind of weight in the pianissimo. So don't worry. These chords are very complicated and easy to just slip one note. So you can fix all those things. But I think here is a place to just be careful. You suddenly don't have a whole new tempo. Because he's 1, 2, 3, da, da, dee, da, whatever rhythm your semiquavers is in. So it's very so all this, they've all got that line, then suddenly no line, but a crescendo through. One, two, three, T. You know, there's this poor Misha, he's got to try to work with about 10 million, instructions all at once, and yet keep this really super simple, because your audience, they don't need to know all that stuff. You just got to play it with that really in your bones, so that whatever the situation, if you've got somebody on the front row going like this with their legs, or faffing around with the program, making a noise, everything, you can just go into a bubble. And that takes practice, and you need to practice going into your bubble and be very focused in your practice sometimes. Could you just go from that second line for me? So really feel that, can you be as legato as possible? Dee, da, da. That's it, good. So when you played through, sometimes your second crotchet didn't sound, so you have. Sometimes the second note didn't always sound, and I think it's a kind of heavenly sigh, and it comes quite often. Ya, da. So you have to just make sure you've given it enough on that first one. Great, good. So let's go to the next phrase. Can you sink into that chord a little bit more. Dum, bum, bum, bum. So there's a little accent on that F sharp. We can have just a little, yes. But breathe. Dun, dun, dun, bum. That's it. Good. So because there you're feeling like you want to get a bit emotional and get rid of these. They're like little chains around us, aren't they? And then suddenly it's like, oh, I can move. So you want to give that feeling. I kind of feel it and I hear it, but without losing too much discipline in the rhythm. So when you've got this mezzo forte here, also with an accent, this is quite a big marking, isn't it, compared with all this pianissimo and 3Ps and everything that we've had before. Let's see, could you just do that one more time there? You're doing really well with these chords. They're much better, the balance. And breathe away. And focus on the balance. Breathe. And bum da dum bum dee dum tum bum dee da and more da dee da dee da. That's it. Yeah, well done, well done. He's spotted it already. So you see how you need on this. Such a wonderful chord, isn't it? And because it's going to last quite long. Da da dee da dee da da da. It just needs that little bit more sound because it has to travel a little bit further. Great, I like the way you're getting the focus in the sound a little bit better. Did that feel like you couldn't move as much as you would?
Yes,
Yeah, it's just being able to kind of this. Yeah, even more you can just sink. Now try it. Sometimes I used to like think, you know, I'm sick of kind of feeling like I can't get in the chord. Now just pretend that they're all mezzo forte with a kind of big velvet cushion. Just try that, even if it's too much. So just for you to just kind of free up. Just play those for everybody. A bit more sinking, right, really deep. Okay. Let's just try a few balancing things. So can you give me now, just as an exercise, a little bit more in the bottom note? Just play the 3 chords. Can you hold on to the note? You're quite staccato-y. Okay, now a little bit more second finger in the left hand. Okay, and then let's go to the top. Very top. That's it, and now let's okay, and then let's hear. Yeah, so you've got 5 things really like to deal with, and at the same time we want the dee dum pom pom, but with something juicy underneath that is pianissimo. So it just mustn't sound kind of thin. And that's going to be your challenge every time you play this, because it will depend very much how you deal with the instrument you've got. But physically you need to get used to it. Okay, so I would just suggest you work on that a little bit more. That's all good. So let's go to this one now. So suddenly your 3 chords are actually written at mezzo forte, and I think they should sound markedly different. Okay, let's go from there. Never aggressive. It's still juicy. Dum bum bum bum bum. That was good. That was good, Misha. The first time you did that was a little bit.
Yeah.
It's hard. So just get tense before you play it. A bit more in the top of the right hand.
No.
Yeah, very hard. When we play these chords at extremes to make them really go down together. I just find if I tense my hand a little bit more. Usually we're asking everybody to relax, but not at this. That's better. Yeah, and then don't fall over. You're wanting to run away now. Stay patient. Ti-da-da, ti-da. Yearning. Yeah, I'm curious about this. If you do like 2 separate movements, and I'm wondering if you can. I'm playing with no pedal or anything, but just trying to have a feeling of legato. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it makes a difference as to how you feel it?
Just the makes sense, because it's on.
Yeah, so that you really get the pull of that. It's a long time since I played it. I'm about to make up all these chords. Right. So. Maybe something different on That's a very long note in the scheme of what we've been doing. So, Messiaen's very clever. He gives you just a little bit of movement, and then he makes you stay still. And so the balance of your chords on the long note is really critical. Otherwise, it's going to just disappear. Would you mind just doing that on Move More one more time? And breathe on the chord. Great. 1, 2, 3. Think about those chords. Just a little bit more contact with the key. You're putting your hand, right up here. I'm wondering if it's down there. You might get. Yeah. Right. So, do you know what I see on the score there?
Well, movement.
I see per, upper, mezzo forte. What I hear is sudden, loud. Now, okay, you can say you want it to be like that, but it just sometimes, look, I look at my music all the time because I play with scores. I see things after 20 years I never spotted. And this is why we have to keep looking. It's very, when you practice, do you practice with the score or without?
Yeah, mostly with the score.
Well, mostly with the
Yes.
score. So I think just make sure you're actually looking.
Mhm.
That sounds weird, doesn't it? Because I'm
Mm.
sure many people like listening, you know, we often have the score there, but are not really looking at it. Even when we're playing, sometimes we're not even listening. I don't know, I can be honest. I've done it.
Yeah.
You will have done it.
Yes.
You're thinking about what you're going to do later and all kinds of things. But it's the same with looking. We sometimes are actually not looking at all. Okay, so peu à peu, so to find, to kind of coax it out of the That's better, good. Then one big phrase. Dee, dee, da, dee, da, ya, da. How beautifully can you play those chords? You see, I think don't start quite so soft because then you're in trouble. Where can you go after that? Legato, try to be, that's great. Yeah, Misha, when you play a little bit more contact with the chords and a little bit more legato, I hear something different as opposed, and I feel, okay, now comes the next challenge. What do you think it is if you have to verbalize it?
Well, it's expressive right hand.
But, what's the but?
Well, it's pianissima and the theme is still in the left hand.
And the theme is marked more.
Piano.
So you very definitely didn't do that. I'm not sure I do it either.
I see.
So, you know, why did he do that? And are we just going to hear this anyway? I mean, it's above the top. It's going to come out, isn't it? But he's still saying, I want this. You very definitely gave me a... So what happens, just try not doing it and see what's going on. Okay, now try to come back. I know your tempo is slightly faster than mine, let's not worry about that. But I feel that your chords are just kind of moving a bit like you're not too bothered about them. Remember, they've all got that stress. Ding, bong. Okay. I can't hear the top of those chords. Very hard to balance because of the shape, isn't it, in the hand? So I hear... So I need to hear the tops, but with the colour underneath in the chord, and it's just hard because it's awkward, yeah? What do you want to bring out? Try to give me more thumb. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah, it's a very hard chord because it doesn't fit nicely under the hand. Now you've got all this stuff to do. So let's give me a little bit more left hand. Okay, wait, Misha, you're doing super well. This is so hard. Make sure these are staying down because now you're trying to do something a little bit out of your comfort zone. These are creeping up. And we want them down to get that nice, rich sound. Okay? Deep breaths. Just fluttering bird, breathe. Left. Left. Yeah, but keep control of the tempo. Don't suddenly go fast. Okay. So hard, isn't it? look, this second bar here, I'm going to cheat and do it with 2 hands. So we want that legato kind of phrase. You've obviously got to split that, but you're giving in. You're giving in to the fact that it's actually impossible to play legato. And I want you to give me an illusion that you believe that it's a legato phrase. Right, good. That's better. It's already better. It's already. You've got to believe it. At the moment, you're just giving into like these are 3 chords, and then and don't let the right hand fit with the left. At the moment, it's a bit the other way around. With those chords like pillars. Yeah, Misha, you know what? It doesn't have to be, it's not necessarily about speed. It's about placement within your speed. It's not, for me it's never, I mean there's just a personal thing. It's never team, bom, bom, bom. I think they're dum, bum, bum, ding. Now feel it move up, go up. Then let it go. Left. Nothing. Nothing in the right hand. Left. Don't run away, just legato. Great, you're doing really well. This is super difficult, and I know it's not how you're used to playing it, so you're accommodating this excellently. Could you try here? Again, I know I'm cheating because I'm using 2 hands, but what you're doing is this, and I'm losing the sound, so to push the sound up a bit more than you want. Time from the bass note to that, so it doesn't want to sound hurried either, but I'm losing a little bit. That's it. Now keep up the sound even longer. Look, don't do the diminuendo until right at the end. Great. Okay, now do it and be more relaxed. Now you're getting a bit tense. Fantastic. Misha, last time. And now I want you to play much more shining big sound on that mezzo forte. Yeah, no, that was brilliant. It was fantastic. Really good cadenza and really good color and you're controlling this tremolando super well. I wondered if you need to point that last note.
No, it was accident.
It was an accident. You know, if you were to do that, I would take even longer in the rest and let everything just go away. All right, just do that for me because I want to hear those chords after that.
Right.
Something like I'll play that for you.
No, I just don't know the
That was better because the first time you played it, I felt a bit rushed there. Because I know when I played this, I felt a bit kind of almost out of breath and you're a bit uncomfortable, you're up here. And then it's like, it's got to feel these chords always. It's like, we're home. So it's that sinking in again. Okay, let's go to the next bit now. So again, there's no difference in the marking now, is there, between the two hands? No. Usually MESSIAN has said something about the right hand being different to the left. Interestingly now, he doesn't put it.
But maybe leggero is for the right hand.
Sure.
So.
I'm just observing that it's not there, but I think we still want this, but obviously now you've got to think about how you're going to colour those octaves. Misha, what I'm missing is this. It's always like this ta-ta, always. Yeah, don't rush them. Can you give me a difference between the three chords and then the longing? Okay, now bring in the right hand somehow. That's got to sound more constant, but the left hand should feel that you have the space to do that phrasing. Good. Breathe before the C sharp chord. Excellent. Right hand chords. Okay, good. Excellent, because now I can see you're really kind of considering your sounds a little bit more than you were before. Could you try to do this without a great stop between each section? So just, we want everything that you're doing, but just keep down, but it just falls into the next section. Okay? Just try one more. Don't rush, you're getting impatient again.
But it's a jardine,
yeah, but it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
So I think MESSIAN, look, compared with what we've had, apart from that cadenza, bum, bum, bum, bum, bum, that's already kind of quite a movement.
Yeah.
All right, but just don't lose sight of those three chords. It doesn't necessarily, I don't necessarily mean slow,
just the
purpose. That's it. And yearning, sparkly. Good. That's it. So you've got a couple of things to think about. That was better before. I think you've got to somehow, not necessarily with tempo, just with intention, give a kind of slightly different, mood. But when we come here, we've got both hands doing the same. Dee-dum, ba-da, dee-da-da. And then it's this kind of like just shining F sharp major coming. Yeah, try not to wait too much, just let it all happen. But don't rush. Just soak it up. Okay, great. Sorry. Misha, I didn't feel that this actually suddenly takes a new turn, because for me this suddenly gets a little bit angry.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of as if somebody said, oh, this is super nice, all this beautiful world of F sharp major, and it's getting all kind of, the light is coming and all that, and then suddenly it's a dee-dee. It's like, oh, maybe this is not so much fun after all. You've got to lead us into this actually quite aggressive passage, and it all happens here. Are you lost too?
I was in the first run through. Not this.
I would love to hear, could you play this without those little extra thingies? So if you go da da dim ba dum ba da da dum ba da da dim ba dum ba da da da da dum. Dum bum bum dum bum bum da da da da if you can remember that is the core of this, and then you're dum bum bum ba dum bum. We could have a bit more personality on that, I think. Da dee dum ba dum ba da da dee da da da dim ba dum bum bum bum bum bum bum. It's okay, it's still very early morning, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're doing fantastically well. But did that feel different when you were listening there? And then da-dee-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum. This is really such a statement. And I think before I couldn't quite see where you were going.
So do you think it's strict statement? It's not,
it doesn't have to be
emotional.
strict, but it has to shout at the right moments. Da-da-dim-ba-dum-ba-da-da-dee-da, da-da-dim-ba-dum-ba-da-da-dee-da-dum-bum. Yeah? I think before you took kind of actually a bit of time.
Yes.
And maybe I just wasn't sure where we were going. When you go from here, let's have a massive crescendo, and then I think these should be pretty ugly and brutal. This is absolutely everything this piece did not start out to be. Yeah. Can you feel like you've got some big chewing gum? Okay, Misha, what's happening on those three chords?
Rallentando.
Yeah, but
Okay.
more than that. You should be killing yourself here.
Okay.
You know, this kind of feeling. You're far too nice. It's very extreme. I mean, you know, look where it is. And he's bringing this, and then it's kind of a little bit sinister the way it starts. There's nothing pretty about that. You've got to really be sweating. Okay. More. Just start it un peu plus long. So it is super intense pianismo. Pull the accents. You've got to shake people up here. This is no prettiness, no trying to be nice. You have to. We have these fantastic, you know, great grounds. You have to find everything that it will give you. Yeah, and that means deciding how you get to those climaxes. You know, if you're there too soon, there's like no more to give. But I think this should just sound desperate. It's like a big alarm. With both hands going, it's like, where is this going to end? It's a miracle how he gets out of this. But you have to pace all of this. Somehow, if you can be brave here and not come in too early here. Okay. Could you just give, I don't know, give us a few bars of that? Okay, I'm curious here. Is this your score?
Yeah.
What's this? Somebody's written this for you. Somebody else has written this. So actually, MESSIAN actually doesn't write diminuendo or like a pretty ending here.
So you think even the...
I think so.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
but
I've done it both ways. You know, I think I first of all did what you did, and then I thought, actually, yeah, da da da, and don't cut that minim, dotted minim.
Yes.
You did that the first time. Just try from there, and like just think a big. 3 and ti da da di. Feel the chord. It's very nice, isn't it?
is it nice? Good nice.
It doesn't sound like a flourish. And I think it can just be more exuberant. Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
Are you being careful because of the top?
But am I going to the top or am I...
They were very different, weren't they? So it's for you to decide.
Mhm.
It's not like right or wrong, and one day it will be like this and maybe another. But the thing, I think, we have to stop in a minute. But we're just going to get to the end very quickly, because I can't end it like just there. But, you know, I think when you practice, you're at this stage now, you can really explore different things. Because you can get around all this, but you can be questioning yourself a little bit more, I think, maybe. Like, well, if I do it this way, what happens? And then do I know, you know, sometimes when I'm playing, I think, that finger didn't come out quite, you know, something wasn't right. But then I think, oh, but actually we can go on this journey now. So you need to like start thinking, if you end that in a certain way, how will you start the next section? If you end it in a different way, will you do something different? Personally, I liked it when it was a massive, great big flourish, but that, you know. All right, let's just do the very from there. So calm again now. Wait, quickly still. I don't mean to talk there, but I'm going to ask you to do just those last few chords. It's interesting, MESSIAN has written a little comma. I think you come in too early on the last chord. Hold the pedal a little bit more. 2, long. Don't move. Just slowly take your hands away. That's it, beautiful. Well done. Well done. Well done, Misha. Well done, well done. So I think now we have Victoria. Come on, let's give her a round of applause. Well done. Do you want to tell everybody what you're going to play?
I'm going to play the second piano sonata by Schumann in G minor.
Okay, and we're going to start with the first movement and see how far we get. I'll see you shortly. done. Well done. I'm coming. Excellent, excellent. How old are you, Victoria?
50.
15. That's really, really a big achievement, play this at your age. And I love the energy that you're bringing to this piece. Do you like playing it?
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the tricky things about playing this piece is it's super busy, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, from the start. So how do we get this away from being lots and lots of notes? So you're doing that. I think you can go further with that, because in a way, we need to hear that it's full of notes, because that gives us all that kind of fast energy.
Yeah.
But maybe some of the longer phrases, some of the longer shapes can be in there as well. We might just try a few things. I'd love to also hear you play maybe the second movement afterwards, just to hear something beautiful and singing and slow. Yeah? Would you like to play that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shall we just do a little bit more on this?
Okay.
Okay, let's see. What can you do with this first chord? You know, if you think that your audience don't know this piece at all, what's your first chord saying?
It's strong
It's
and
strong.
sudden.
Here we are, okay? Can you be a little bit more determined with that, without your mind thinking about what's coming? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, Victoria, so like really don't just play it. You have to feel it. You're not feeling it before you play it. You just kind of know how you want it to sound, but I don't feel it's completely in your system. What do you think before you play that chord?
The sound I want to hear.
Okay, do you have you seen somebody, you know, look, there's the Olympics on at the moment. So if you see somebody doing a kind of high jump or something like this, there's like incredible energy before somebody takes off. I feel you're a little bit there. You're being careful maybe to get the right notes, and I want an explosion, as if none of us have heard a G minor chord before. All right, are you sitting kind of like, I feel you a little bit that way. Yeah. So really get sort of grounded. Everything's as you want it, piano stool. Did you move it from the person before?
Yeah.
Yeah? So just make sure everything is set up properly. Really give us this G minor chord to end all G minor chords. Yeah, and then stay with the G minor chord in your mind. Just a little bit longer. I can feel it that you're thinking about all this stuff that's coming. Okay, good. That felt better. Does it feel any different to you or not? You don't have to agree with me. It's fine. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
It's because, you know, do you play any other instruments?
Violin.
Violin. Okay. That's good. If you pull the bow, how well do you play the violin? Are you a beginner or are you at this level?
No.
Halfway. But you know what I mean? If you wanted to do a crescendo through the bow, you can do that on a violin, can't you?
Yeah.
Because we can make the sound get bigger. We can't do that on a piano. So is this a sound that you want to go stop? In your body. I mean, technically the sound is not going to get louder, we know that. But it's about how you're feeling it. That's what I'm suggesting. So I just want you to think about that, okay? Then the next thing, this is a super busy left hand, isn't it? How much of this do we want against this?
A bit less.
A little bit less, but at the same time, it's got to be full of energy and it can't sound soft. So it's possible that you could give a little bit more in the right hand without it getting harsh. It's a very tricky piece to maneuver like this because your left hand could just sound like it's just super busy all the time, but tee-da-da-da, we want that kind of feel. Victoria, what's happening with your left leg? Right, now you because I'm wondering about the balance when you play. So that was kind of like this. And I know if I sat like that, I would be like just not feeling centered. So you might be happy with it. We all play kind of in quite different styles. But just really think about it, yeah? So really sing to the next college. That was much more singing, I thought. So you want a kind of intense sound. Then, okay, so you've got a slight, he's giving you permission somehow with these dots. It's not short, but pum, pum, pum. And then our mind is maybe focused on the right hand melody, so maybe you have to work a little bit harder on the left when it comes in. And you've got that forte there, yeah? Do you want to just try more, just go from there. Victoria, this is already 100% better. Because it's really, your intention is really clear. And I still feel it's really passionate, but there's a little bit more focus in your melodic line, okay? Now, so as if we don't know this theme already, Schumann is like, I want you all to hear it one more time. Okay, so he puts you up an octave, he gives you a chord, and he gives you a sforzando. The tricky thing is, as a pianist, it's quite a leap, isn't it? So we can get a little bit scared. I want you to try to be brave, and if you miss it, you miss it. It's not the end of the world, and you will miss it in your life, probably more than once, and that's okay. But what we don't want is too much safety in the bar before. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're being a bit careful here. Try to focus a bit more on the left hand. You can somehow buy yourself just a split second of sound, of time, sorry. If you give me a big A there, rather than go, you're bringing out that because you're getting a bit nervous about the chord. Listen, it doesn't matter about making mistakes. I want you to really believe that. Okay, we practice and practice to try to get notes in the right order, you know, in the right key, all the things we want, most of all to make them musical notes. We're all going to miss some notes sometime in our life, frequently. I miss notes in every single concert. I don't care. You know, as long as they're not too many. All right. But the most important thing is that you learn to go for that big gesture up to the chord. Yep. All right. Okay. So really go for it now. If you suddenly play G major, we could just do it again. All right. can do it even more. Give me even more left hand on that A just before, and even more of a massive big chord on the top. That's it. Good. How much more can you give it on your little finger on the G minor chord? Yeah, more. More energy. That sounds a bit flat somehow. Is that the most you can do? You can say that's it. Just push. That's better. Yeah, you just got to like engage a bit more energy there. It can't be like, okay, what time is it? It's Sunday, it's 11:45, it's a bit early, you know, it's a bit kind of sleepy. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, just do it one more time. Get that energy that you did before was even better. It's hard when you've got two hands. Very good, very good. What do we do here? With this. Schumann has given us one isolated chord. Yeah, everything else is kind of running and running and running and running, and then we suddenly have that. Should we pronounce it just a little bit, do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just a question. I don't necessarily have the answer. And also it's nice to feel that kind of chase between the two hands. Because although this is constant, this movement, we especially at this point, we just need a little breathing space. So it's not a stop, it's not a rit, but it's just a little comma. Yeah, what happens if you do slightly less pedal on that chord? Yeah, so could you think you've got a sforzando here? Could you think of them as like two separate chords? I feel it's a bit da-da. That's getting better. So like dum bum bum. Yeah, and so just don't make it sound weak in the process. Do you see what I mean? It's gone a bit. It's lost its energy somehow. But I just. Yeah. Now give it just a little bit more time. Just a tiny bit more time. Okay, so try one more thing. Could you try to do crescendo right at yum bum, and then we're almost going to drop. Right now take a bit more time. Yum bum. You've got more time than you think. That's along the right lines, I think. I think you just have a split second there. Okay, so it's very difficult, isn't it, when something's like super fast and it's just going and going, and you feel you don't have any time. Sometimes we have just a little bit of time, but it depends how you pronounce that chord. Okay, let's go on from here. Okay. Okay, Victoria, I have to ask you, what do you want me to listen to here?
The top line in the right hand.
Which is what?
The G.
Just the Okay, so do a very exaggerated version now. So I just hear kind of that, and everything else is soft. Could you do that? you have to be careful if you're going for that, is that we don't hear, because that is not part of that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to do it slowly? That is just part. But it's not part of da, da, da, da. Okay, good. And then we've got. Whoops. Okay. That's okay, no problem, no problem. So let's just have some of the left-hand shape. Okay, Victoria, how expressive can you make those notes? Okay, that's better, because as soon as I mentioned being a bit more expressive, you actually were thinking about what you were doing rather than just playing the notes. Now, can you put all that together? Okay, now I'm lost again. Okay, so because I said that thing about this, and now it sounds weak there.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? What is the mood of this section?
Anxious.
It's anxious, yeah. So it sounds careful at the moment. I need to be breathless. It's very breathless, the whole movement, pretty much, isn't it? All right, but if you think of the first theme, that's more of a, it's like a soaring bird. Okay, something like swooping like this, like long lines. And then that little movement in the left hand gives you that anxious feeling. And then you've got these little trumpets on the top. Okay, so you've got to be changing your characters all the time. It's not the same as the beginning. Last time, and let's go on. Good. It's so hard, that little bit, isn't it? And I saw it on your face, and just don't show it. Don't show it. We all play things that we find, oh, that's so hard, and take a breath and just like, never show how hard it is, you know? It would be great to put up a sign and say, this bit's really hard, by the way, you know? But somehow we must resist that, yeah. Okay? So just get used to that idea a little bit. So we have a change of personality, maybe coming forwards, downhill. And the accent on the ear. So da-dee-da-da-da-da. He uses that phrase now. Again, think about your balance, you know, because it gets a bit ugly if you... It doesn't need to sound, it can still sound strong. Now, what's your personality of these? And then he changes from that to be... the same material, but suddenly it becomes something different. Becomes kind of triumphant there, isn't it? So you've got to make those little changes. Okay, so we know how hard this is, everybody. And I'm cheating because I'm going to stop right when it gets difficult. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to you. It's kind of super confident. You've got to sound really confident, even if you know there's something a little bit tricky coming up. All right?
Yeah.
See if you can do that. Faye, you find a place to go for. You're running away a little bit, so I know we want that feeling. And the other thing I feel a little bit is that if I were further away and you were playing in a bigger space, that would just get a little bit underwater here. So make sure it's pronounced. Pretend you play the cello, not the violin. Yeah, what about if you came off? Off. Because you're joining everything. And then it becomes, you know, like a bit unclear. Could you just pronounce a bit clearer? That fantastically. I'm wondering if you could. You're very sparing with the pedal there. Do you use any at all? Doesn't sound like there's much. Sounds a bit dry to me somehow. Then I could make more of a difference if I take the pedal away there. Yeah, could it? Yeah, come. It's just to get a bit more shine on the notes. Somehow I know technically it's not a kind of staccato note or anything, but it's a repeated note, so we've got to come away from it. Pedal. Yeah, bring it out of the piano. That's better. Yeah, well done. You can do it. So that's going to feel strange now. I'm not going to ask you to do that because now you've like mixed up a few technical things with that. But I want you to think about it, how you can change that sound. This is a fantastic sonata, but it's tricky because it can very easily, especially this first movement, and actually the fourth movement also, sound a lot about the same colour. And you've got to somehow, within this mood of continual semiquavers, well, not always, but, you know, pretty much, find pronunciation, find colour, find different ways to pronounce your notes. All right? Could you just do a little bit? Could you go from... Wah, dum bum bum bum. Can you go from there? Okay, Victoria. This is, come on. Yeah, don't rush those three quavers. Bum bum bum bum. Yeah. What I hear is this. You just take a little bit of time before the first beat. You're going. So let's just do in slow motion. Yeah, don't put the notes in, bring them out. I want more spark in the sound somehow. That's it, don't be frightened to come away from them. And I can change the balance. You've got choices. That's it. and the last one, you're nervous about that. So we've got a choice. We can do it dry. Depending on the acoustic, or we can, or I can do one of each. Well done. Bum, bum. Okay, well done, well done. You're doing so well, because there's a lot to take in, isn't it? And I know you've had a few classes this week, so your mind must be like full of information, full of piano notes, full of everything. And you know, the thing about these classes is it takes time for everything to kind of sink in, because it's great that all these young pianists are just trying things immediately in front of people too, and trying things that you haven't done before. But then it takes a while before you go home and you think, oh, yeah, okay, now you've time to just actually think about it. Now, you hear, is that the end of one kind of little section? Yeah, so we have something very different here. We have a kind of a melodic line. We have this next subject, but Schumann hasn't written it to sound too comfortable in a way. Do you know what makes it slightly uncomfortable?
Syncopation.
Exactly. So it's not 1, 2, 3. But at the same time, it can't be. You've got to pretend that you're about to sing that song, and you've got to take a breath there somehow inside. You don't love this theme enough. This sounds a bit boring. Okay, so good, that's getting better. What sound would you, in your dreams, would you like to have here? If you had nothing before it to worry about. Thinking you want to have a lot of top, and then now there was a very heavy kind of first note. Dee da dee, dee da dee da dee da. What's your shape? Yeah, a little. You could have a little bit more towards the top, towards the end. What do you think Schumann means by this? We've got this little dot on this last note, which is a bit strange in some way. Do you know what I mean? You've got this legato phrase, pop, but I don't think he means dry. It's a kind of punctuation again. Try it even more. I'm exaggerating. Of course, we're in slow motion now. Yeah? And then however you do. So you don't, what it means is you don't collapse into. Yeah? So that's the end of the phrase, but what about how you're going to do this beginning? Could you just leave that as a, almost park that B flat? just give it a second. Just try it. Okay. It's got to be more special. Better. What are you doing with the pedal on each of these notes? And is there any? Or is it just sometimes happening or not? You're not sure?
Pedal each one.
Yeah, but I sort of feel it, and I feel it a little bit halfway in the phrase and maybe not just right from the beginning. It's like playing the theme. Does it have any vibrato? Is it going to be kind of Baroque style? Yeah, more beautiful on this. Right, now just give me the top line and show me the shape you want. Right, and so it's much easier to do when you just have the single line and not the whole chords. So Victoria, what I want you to do when you get back into your practice is just think, how are you going to end that little arpeggio coming down? So it's just take a breath there. And then what color do you want on that first chord? We have so many things to think about that actually they have to become sort of second nature, but at the same time you could just invent something on the spot. But that means you have to do a lot of experimenting at home. Yes? Because you've learnt this, you can play this super well. You've got all these notes there. But now you've got to make them into something really special. So I think you can just push for those things a little bit more. Okay? So what I want to do now, because time is marching on a little bit, I want you to just go to the ending for me, this end section, and then could you play me the second movement? We just have time to just do a little bit. Yeah, so we will have had a similar scenario here. Could you go from there to the very end? Sing. I just meant like keep the energy. So just a couple of points. I think just be careful all this section doesn't start to sound like an etude, which is easier than said than done. But what you need to be thinking is what is happening musically. Yeah? So just keep your eye on that bigger crescendo here. Desperate, a bit more desperate there. We've got that in the mix. And we're up to a real fortissimo there. I didn't really hear that. So that it gets much more. Yours has sounded a bit dry. Cheating and not playing all the notes. Forgive me, but I haven't practiced it. More balance here. Bit more drama. Don't be afraid to do more when you need to do. It's great that you don't smash this from the first note. It's often played just like one big great noise, and I love it that you don't do that, because it's fantastic that you save something for the end, but when it does get to the end, really go for it. Okay? So we have time for something slow. Okay? So just take a second, just take a breath. Many lovely things there, Victoria. Isn't that the most magical movement? I think, for me, it's worth learning the whole sonata to play this movement. Yeah, could you start it again for me and think about what you will have just played. So you will have played the first movement, full of energy, full of passion, G minor. Could you play me a G minor chord? we're coming from that world. And where are we starting the next movement? Just play me the first few chords. Yeah, so you need to think about that transition somehow. And the kind of color that you want to give me on this. I felt that what came out, it was very lovely the way you played the whole movement, but I think you can push yourself to find exactly the sounds that you want. It was just a little bit C and E. Yeah, even this, just before you play, don't suddenly play those notes. Like, do you hear them in your mind? Can you hear them before you play? It's better, you know, even if something hardly came out, it doesn't matter. Because actually what was happening, you were thinking. You were really thinking before you played those notes. Okay, great. So we made progress on the first few notes. What are we going to do about this F sharp that comes in?
Forward plan.
If you were a singer, what would you have to do?
Breathe.
Yeah. So how are you going to do that when you've got these moving notes underneath before? Because at the moment I sort of heard that, and then it's like, oh, right hand, come in. I'm being a bit crude now, but you know, it just arrived.
Yep.
To kind of be on time for where it needs to be. But you didn't take the breath before, and meanwhile this is going how you want it to go. See, it's actually quite complicated. I mean, but again, we want it to be magical simplicity. So the first thing is to think about your C and your E, and then the second thing to think about is how you're going to come in with this beautiful F sharp. Very nice, Victoria. Well done. Is this one continuous phrase?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we... Would we have to take a breath there, or would we just go on? I mean, on the piano, we don't have to do any of those things. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Getting out? I'm playing too fast, I know. Is it that? So there's a kind of something in the middle. There's a slight possibility for timing. And then he changes the coloring completely. Two voices, now three. I mean, it's so incredibly gorgeous, isn't it? You know, just a very, very simple. So you've got to just think, I'm not suggesting you stop or anything. For me, that was slightly unnatural, but that's maybe a personal taste. I like to kind of take my hand off as if to breathe with my hand, but the pedal is on, so there's not a gap. And we've got some nice colouring here. So hard, I could spend hours on these lovely chords. And those little chords underneath. So I think you can just do a little bit more in that kind of direction. Okay, so that's the opening. I know somebody's going to come in any minute. Da, da, dee, da, da. So we've had that. Let's go to the next section. Just give me just the end so we can do the link. Great, good. At the beginning, you've got this. Now you have this. So the sound can be very slightly different from the way you play the theme at the opening. Do you see what I mean? The notes are the same, aren't they, at the top? But the cushioning around it is quite different. Sing. Open. Okay, so do you want to come away there or not? Because I find it unnatural that what Schumann has written actually to do more. You're doing almost what's more natural. I think there you can just go for a fuller world. Yeah? What about, could you go from here? Don't forget the writ, so to get to the pause. Victoria, you know what? It's all kind of perfect and everything, but I don't feel anything. Feel your stretching. Feel the tension on this note and the release. Yes. More. He's got a crescendo coming up in the left hand, it's expression rather than crescendo. So it's just a fuller sound. Dum ba dum. Okay, now look, silences in music are very special things. What you do with them, how you time it, what you think about. I wasn't sure if you thought about anything. I felt, okay, the next thing is this. My whole life has got to happen in that quaver rest. You know, because he's put us here, the same as he did. But then in comes this note. Ah. And then the second time, remember at the beginning we had this. Then we had this. Just the kind of simple left hand. Now we have this. So it's like variations, yeah? But they're not, none of it can sound the same. So you need to think a little bit, how you're going to do that, what's going to happen to you in that quaver rest, what you're going to be thinking about, and what color you're aiming for here. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So those are things you might not be able to think about right now and get right, but I want you to start that process. Okay? But for now, you can just go from there. Good. Great. Victoria, so much better. So much better. What is the other difference to think about? We've had be natural, yeah? Yeah. Now we have. So that's gone. And we now have a B flat as well. And then big magic is coming. How do we know what's coming from this? If we don't know the piece, okay, maybe this. I have no idea. And then so all these things, you've got to kind of know that that is coming. How are you going to get there? You can work backwards. Oh, I've got that there. I've got this before that. How am I going to make all these transitions happen? I mean, it's a marvelous thing. It's an endless discovery. And what you think today could be different tomorrow. Certainly when you play this in 10 years' time, it will be very different to how you play it now. And in 40 years' time, it may be different again. And you may come back to some things that you think when you're younger, and you might change in the middle and do full circle. Who knows? But that's the great thing. It can be different every day, but you need the skills to think, oh, today I want to do this. How do I do that? Without thinking too much, you just know how to do it, because you've done lots of experimenting in your practice. Okay? So could you let's just do, because we're running out of time a little bit, just let's do this page. More intense. Sing. Rit. More on the D. Legato if you can. More passion. Okay, so when you got there, I didn't quite believe where you took me. I felt, okay, you were going faster, but what were you insisting on? Do you see what I mean? Because there's a kind of insistence on, we get onto this pedal point of A flat. change to bring you. Genius. But you know, when you've got these A flats going and going, just make sure you know why you've got these A flats. Which is the one that's going to be the biggest? What are they saying? Okay, so we go into the break now, but I can't leave it just on that. Can you play me the very end? Play me the coda to the end, and that's it. Reflective. Feel the octave. Cello. Breathe. Don't rush. Breathe. Slower. Da, ti. Slower, slower, slower, slower. Ah, that was way too abrupt. So you created something magical and then just, you know, just, you got 4 writs here. You hardly did any when you played it through. So it's up to you to grade the writ how you want. So when you come away, it's up to you how you want to do this, but you could take your hands away and slowly release the pedal. I still haven't moved, so if anybody starts clapping now, I will scream. Okay? It's up to you to kind of try to control things. So you can practice that also. Well done. Very good, very good. Well done, Victoria. Very good. So welcome back to this second and final part of the masterclass. This is İzem. Do you want to tell everybody what you're going to play?
Yeah, I will be playing Noctuelles and Oiseaux Tristes from Ravel's Miroirs. Yeah.
İzem, that was incredibly beautiful.
Thank you.
Really, really lovely playing. What I enjoyed so much was that you are completely immersed in the music. And, you know, these are not the easiest scenarios, are they? You know, we've just met. You have people here about to watch what we're doing. Hopefully something interesting, we don't know. But you were just there for the music. And I really feel like you know this music very well. And it's kind of, I don't know how long you've been playing these pieces. I know you prepared the whole of Miroirs.
I actually have, I've been playing these pieces, especially the first and second one, for a bit longer time than the rest of the set. But actually not too much. I think it's like, I can say like for 2-3 years, but I always left them at some point. Like I always left and took them back to play in some concert or something. So
Good.
yeah, and then I of course had I prepared for this masterclass and also for like for future. Yeah,
It's always going to be there in your future. I think you know the great. I mean, this is just incredible repertoire, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
And what I felt was that you've really spent time with it. So I'm happy to hear that you didn't start this 2 weeks ago. You know,
No.
because I was thinking, wow, you know, that would be quite. No, but it feels like it's very much kind of in your system. And I spoke about this with somebody who played, Misha, who played earlier today. This situation of when we revisit pieces, of how we can keep looking further.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes difficult, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, if you're to bring this back up, you've obviously played it quite a lot. Where do you start in that process? I'm just curious, because we're all different. Do you kind of think a couple of weeks before, or I need to start looking at this again? Or do you give yourself a bit longer? We'll all have different kind of time scales, and sometimes things feel like they come back very quickly.
Yeah.
And other times there's like, oh, I really need to, you know, it's kind of gone.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because at your age, things kind of stick in the system. I feel easier than at my age. The things I learnt at your age are still in my system. The things I learnt 5 years ago, I've forgotten.
Oh, I see. Well.
So you know, so I think this music will be with you for a long time.
Yeah, for me, I personally always need kind of longer time, like at least a month or so, to especially if I'm taking back old piece, you know, that I played or yeah, and I also try to look actually like from zero to the score and like to what's written, and I try to like change my reset my mind a little bit. Yeah,
that all sounds really nice, and I think it's nice for you to kind of articulate that because that sounds like you I hear that. I mean, I think that's why I'm talking about this now, because I hear your investment in this music. You know, so it comes across that you. It's not about just knowing what you're doing, but that you can be creative because you've been experimenting. So we might just experiment a little bit further. It might add something. It may not. You already kind of have a lot of your own ideas, and that's what's really good. And I liked the way you used the instrument, and you kind of let the sounds come in a good way, you know. So I think have you played the whole set?
No, actually, I still have to work on the last one, last moment a bit more, and hopefully for this season, you know, I'm planning to like play the whole set.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to be played as a set, but you know,
It's just
sometimes
nice,
they are, and
yeah,
it's
like
nice to kind of see how that feels.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got some that will be more familiar than others, so you can use that. So, I don't know. Let's just play some more and see what we find again on the kind of second time through. I think you can maybe on this now you've played a little bit. now you get the feel of this piano, just see how far down you can make it come.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the big, it's always the
Yes.
big problem, but without it losing focus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a Ravel technique also, of, so, you know, you have a pianissimo, but it's not maybe wispy or nothing.
Yeah, I see.
So there's still sometimes some clarity in there. So it's quite a hard opening, isn't it?
Yes, it's.
Should we just try maybe like just the first page? I was just thinking at the end of that first page, you could really just
Go.
like it's like almost like you're doing an inward breath, you know, or just the door opened and something went away. Just maybe be a bit more daring with that. Just have another try.
Okay.
Yeah, great. I think this, you know, I mean, it's interesting. He's got that little line.
Yeah.
For anybody that's got looking at score or not, you know, so it goes to 3 Ps, but he still wants it heard. So, you know, these are composers that are like super fussy about this kind of little articulation. I'm just thinking, you know, at the beginning,
Yeah.
because it's the way he's written it that it sounds slightly chaotic in a way, isn't it? You know, it's hard to like, do we need to hear any beats? Maybe not. Do we need to feel them? Maybe. You know, they're not kind of signposted beats. But I'm just thinking that somehow you can just make sure that's really very thoroughly, it's almost like that is there and that over the top is a kind of improvisation. Just and then to have this change of meter in a way. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, da da da da da da da. You know. Yeah, good. Just so I don't think it needs to be almost as obvious as that. It's
I
just
see.
well,
It's too
it's
much.
more a feeling.
Yeah. Okay.
And then actually, I think that can be just a little bit bigger.
Bigger. Okay.
Yeah, no, nothing aggressive.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
too
okay
much.
because it's so fine. It's so fine, these details. And just a little bit more on that E flat because it's like, where are we going? Where are we going? Here we are. That's it. It's so minute. You know, and so sometimes these things are feelings. If you feel it, then something will just come out rather than show. But I think that maybe helps. It's like, it's almost not like a beginning. It's like
That one is more like
in a way that is something we can get our head around. Before da da dee da da dum and then hello. You know, just have that kind of feeling. Just now, let's just try. This is just experimenting a little bit. Change the balance a little bit in the first 2 bars. So keep that feeling of your left hand is your kind of your grounding thing of your triplets. But let me hear a little bit more right hand now. I just want to hear what that sounds like.
Sure. Oops, sorry. Yeah, the right hand.
Yeah, good. I actually slightly preferred that. But you know, we're talking minute details, and every time you play it, it can be slightly different. So I think just that's the kind of thing. If I was playing this in a concert, I'd see how the acoustic is reacting. I'd see how the piano is.
Yeah.
So just, I think it's good for you to just be experimenting, thinking, oh, maybe I need, maybe it's a bit more shiny if I do this.
Ah, yes, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
I
it's
see.
kind of shiny without being too obvious.
Hmm.
I think you've got this really good now. And then, you know, that can have just a tiny bit more substance.
Mhm.
Make a little bit more of that crotchet rasa.
Oh, okay.
I think I don't cut it short.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Could you go maybe from, oh, actually, just go from there, sorry.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be longer than that. It should
Oh,
be like,
okay.
what?
Yeah, not too
Yeah.
present, okay.
And there's like a pop, pop.
Hmm. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, good, but İzem, that time, remember, it's forte. That's actually
Yeah.
quite dramatic, isn't it? I think you sounded a bit nervous of it.
Uh-huh, I see.
So just try going a little bit more. It's not thunderous forte.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, we've had, you know, pianissimo, we've had 3Ps. It's generally like this, right?
Yeah.
And then to go to that, I think
Uh-huh.
we just need a bit more. Good, great. So I think that's a minimum.
Okay, yeah, that's...
Now try doing it like exaggerated,
Yeah, okay.
because I know you've not been used to it, so it's going to feel a little bit weird just to do quite so much, and possibly without quite such a weight. You're being very careful to not miss a note. Just go for it.
Okay.
Okay. Now it needed an extra second. That's my fault because I said just go there.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean then for the...
Yeah, before the G.
Before the G, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think what it needs is more fifth finger.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're just very polite there.
With the... Uh-huh.
I think there's a nice little clash. That's it. Yeah, great. So I think it will take that. It doesn't need to be kind of explosive, but it needs to like really come out. So we have, this is a new note. So be careful it doesn't become like that. So it's all about the G's. Great, fantastic, İzem. Really fantastic playing. I love what you're doing. Can you go dee da dee da? A bit dee da dee da dee da. Accent.
Yeah, okay.
Tiny.
Yeah.
He's such a perfectionist, right?
Oh, sorry.
Great, I can't play this. Can that be softer?
Oh, okay. This one, right? Yeah.
If you can. How much clearer but softer can you make it? Shoot me now. Try it. So I see it with your in reverse. You're kind of holding these notes like. Can you be a bit more like prickly? Yeah. You can do it. It's a bit more difficult.
I will. Yeah.
What you're doing is setting yourself up. So you're kind of being cautious on the first.
On the first,
view,
yeah, I see.
And kind of holding on to it makes it sound a bit more smudgy. And if you can... Yeah, great, great. And then super short on that before you get to the chord.
That's right.
Even softer at the beginning?
Yeah. The last note, yeah, 3.
Good. Try not to slow down when you get to the top. Almost.
A bit better. Yeah, not.
I can be fussy with her because she's so good.
Yeah, this is the.
What's happening with the pedal? Let's look at that also.
I probably should. Maybe we'll need more pedal now, right? Like
What happens if you do no pedal? Let's go to extremes. Like no pedal at all.
Oh, no pedal
Just,
at all.
well, I don't know. It's not a
Just to-
solution.
yeah,
Let's just to see what it sounds like. I quite like that.
Yeah.
Let's try with some pedal.
Okay.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we do a big smudge pedal. That's the third extreme.
Yeah, that's
You could do a smudge pedal then super off at the end. Well, okay, that's another option. So it's up to you. I think I quite liked it when it was completely dry. It's a little bit more uncomfortable feeling, perhaps, to play. But I think
The effect
try
is,
to get your fingers to kind of keep going right to the top. They
I
get
see.
a bit cautious towards the end.
Like for the last notes.
Yeah,
I see.
it might be that you're just preparing and, you know, just try to get across. I think what it is, you're trying to not crash on the top.
Oh.
So it needs to be clean and it needs to be clear, but I find it a bit kind of too nice at the top.
Oh.
I mean, what do you want to do with this gesture? I guess that's the question.
So maybe I should try it like only just like one same gesture and not like it's not
maybe that's the thing, but this is personal, you know, it's up to you. I mean, and every time you play it, it'll probably be slightly different, but it's good to actually just think, what ideally would you like? Yeah, that was great. I really like that. Did everybody else love it? They're all saying yes, so I think that's the way forward. Yeah, I paid them all earlier on. Yeah. Okay. Let's. So you've done the. Let's go on. So now we have this word espressivo.
Espressivo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do a bit more.
Okay.
What I'm missing a little bit is the espressivo. So I kind of hear that there's a melodic line there. I think having heard this kind of sparkle and everything, I now need to hear something that's a bit more kind of sostenuto, without slowing, of course. If you, could you just play? Could you take away the accompaniment? And just play quite slowly the kind of chords. And then this is a kind of like extra bar, isn't it? Da da da.
Yeah.
Okay, let's forget that and then play the next espressivo. Da da da. So look at the shape of that. So it just, you know, don't worry about, or it can be as slow as you want. Da, da, da. A little bit, just exaggerate that going to the middle. So you're adding a beat at the moment.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, it's all right.
Yeah, sorry.
Da, da.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is just taking away all the extra kind of filigree and getting back to a kind of basic. Just do that. Dee-dum, bum, and again. Dee-da-dum, bum.
Oh, sorry.
That's it, good. So I think I love practicing like that. I also love practicing slowly. It's really good for the brain. Also makes me feel a bit more calm. You know, so it's very good to just strip away all the filigree, all the extra gorgeous notes that are in there, and say, actually, what do I want somebody to be listening to with extra filling? So I think you can just exaggerate that a little bit more. Could you just go back there now? Let's do it for real. And then those little bars, dee da dum, it's just a kind of, what's that? So remember, bum bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit more accent. Great, great, great. Now look, I'm just looking at this little 3/8 bar. Where is the forte written?
Just in the last
Yeah.
one, actually.
What I hear it is on the left-hand last note.
Ah,
Dee-da-da.
yeah.
Now, is it deliberate that he wrote the forte actually after that? I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Maybe like very quick, last moment
It's.
forte.
I think what it means is that the forte goes right to the end of the bar. So don't come. What you're actually doing is you're going to the third beat and then coming away.
Oh, I see.
Dee-da-dee-am. Go
That's
right
a-
there with all of the notes. Just try that bar on its own. That's it. Now let's try having some more top, just to see what that sounds like. Yeah,
This one,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I think it will take it. Again, you know, in the score, it's going to forte. This is quite extreme.
Yeah.
So I think what I feel possibly you've just toned down some of these things. Now, we don't want a great splash of paint there. There's not time. But it's a big, it's a kind of quick gesture that can have a little bit more impact. So with dee-da-dum, dee-da-dum, dee-da, you know,
Yeah.
10 million things to do in no time.
Yeah, it's like really.
Okay, why don't you play sort
Sure.
of from there, and let's keep going. I
Sure.
won't stop you this time. New color. Great, great, great. Very, very good. I think it's sounding now, I can really hear the different colors. What do you want to do in this poco rubato?
I'm not sure if the rubato is actually like only for the beginning or in general the whole section until the fortissimo. So I usually took time a little bit in the beginning and then like
Yeah, it's quite an unusual marking in a way for Ravel. You know, you don't see it so often. So I wasn't really aware of it.
Oh, I see.
And you've got the different accents, you know, dee da dum ba da dim bam bam bam in the left hand. Could make a little bit more of that, maybe the kind of push between the two hands, and then much more extreme tremolando. I want the people at the back here to be like, what?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay, but now I've got so da da da, and I can't hear the da da da dee da da. Okay, just try it one more time. İzem. There's just dee da da. It's just something the way you're talking between the two voices doesn't quite work somehow. But just play me the right hand first. Yeah, and maybe the rubato means kind of a bit more accelerando. I feel it's a bit stuck.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe I can go
I mean,
forward.
just feel this.
Yeah.
This wants to go somewhere. Yeah, yeah, and then let's have the left hand. Yeah, good. So you've got a slightly uneven kind of meter there, and that all makes it a bit more thrilling. So see if you can put all those things together and move it, and then really like. Maybe when you come down, I would do a little bit more. I think, you know, this is one of Ravel's kind of classic techniques. It's his kind of bell sound. It's used quite often. But I think if you go, and that note is the end of all your little cadenza.
Oh, okay.
And then you've got to have something to come away from. Do you want to just try the cascade coming down?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think the pedal I should keep though, right? Or in the bass with the bass. Or
just do that little end bit and keep the pedal this time from there. And then I want to try it again and try with the pedal starting on the. I just want to hear the two different ways to do it.
Sure. Yeah. From the.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do it the other way.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's okay, stopping and starting, it's always tricky. That doesn't sound right. But you could do two pedals.
Yeah,
also.
I could.
I mean, it's out. I think we don't want to hear a whole.
Yeah, like.
And the other, maybe you could take time before you come in with that octave. It sounds a bit immediate. It sounds like you're in a rush.
Oh, I see.
Yes. That's it. It's like a whole new feeling, and the low F is connected like to the end of that cadenza. So I think the pedal is up to you. I just wanted you to try it to see. But I think actually it's about the timing of what you do with that octave. So just do it for the last time, and then these are going to be like bells, so we need something to ring and then to go away from, and then really think.
Yeah, the harmony. Yeah, okay.
More resonant rather than a hit. By that I mean it's like don't hold it rather than. I mean it can be louder or softer, whatever, but not. It's about not kind of holding the sound inwards. It's bringing it. Let it ring. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Very good, very good. This is really getting excellent. What I'm slightly confused about is your I don't quite get the pulse.
Yes, me neither. I guess that's why I was. Yeah.
So it changed slightly when you came in with the right hand.
Yeah.
And I think you could kind of, in your practice, just it's a very hard transition, isn't it? Yes. And you've been very busy, and you had to concentrate down this cadenza. Bum, bum, bum, bum, whatever tempo you're going to play it at. But it shouldn't be kind of moving.
Yeah.
It should just have its own natural kind of whatever you feel you can make the piano resonate. What I tell you what, just start from just right there. Okay, good. For me, it can possibly, I'm hesitant to use the word slower,
Oh,
but somehow it's about space. I don't feel it has space somehow. And these chords, I think when you see the word sombre, expressive, you can really dig a bit deeper into the sound. I think what you're doing, it's a little bit literally soft.
Oh, I see.
And I think I might, I mean, again, I'm talking about in a performance situation, you know, so. So you could say, oh yeah, that sounds actually loud. But, you know, it's a kind of just, we want, you know, some fat around the sound. So you've got to set that, so you have to think, okay, that's the sound I want there. How am I going to put myself in the right position with these? I mean, maybe that's too much, whatever. I'd really have to play around with that. Relax. Dum, bum, Great. This is really getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now, just to try something, do the bells. Let's call them bells, our Fs. And I want that to stay the dominant voice. This is just totally for experiment. You're never going to play it like this.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And just come in with the chords much softer. Because I think what I feel happens when you come in with the chords, you are slightly unaware of the pulse of the bells. And remember, they're not on the beat. Bum,
Yeah.
bum. So let's make those the kind of primary thing, just for practice. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so that I know it sounds weird.
No, but it's good for.
But actually, you need to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because actually, when you come to play it, your brain has to not go away from those bells. That's actually the boss. And the chords are the kind of juice. You know, of course, we make those the kind of primary person when they come, but we're the slave to the bell. All right. Bum, bum, bum. That's why I don't want you to go too fast for now. So I just want you to just like hang on to that. Do you want to just try it one more time? Let's just do it that funny way round.
Sure.
Good. Okay, so of course that all sounds kind of upside down. Now let's put it the right way, but I want you to just never take your ear. I was going to say eye off the ball, but don't take your ear off those Fs.
Okay.
Okay. it's better. It does work.
Mm-hmm.
I think because it makes me kind of focus. Makes me focus on those notes. I think then you can actually start to explore these shapes.
Yeah.
And it would be great. You could experiment with the pedal. I mean, do you want the pedal all the way through that? You've got that, so probably yes. I'm just giving that a little bit more clarity, because otherwise we get into...
Yeah.
So in a concert, I might not get that. Just a bit more that sound. It's slightly overpronounced. Okay? All right.
From the same place or a bit?
Yeah, just go from maybe the top.
Yeah, from the...
Yeah. Think of the balance of the chords. Crystal clear now. Nice. Good. That's a beautiful sound, isn't it? It's a very beautiful sound. Look, they're in agreement. It's a very magical sound, and it's not loud, but it's a kind of crystal sound.
Crystal.
And that's what you want to just find when you have the time. You know, when it's kind of super busy, we don't always have it. So we also don't have so much time. And I just want you to play a little bit of the beginning of the next one. These things always go too fast when we're having a good time, don't they? All right.
Okay.
So you have to get everybody's attention in the room. Can you do that?
Yeah.
You see?
Oh.
Now you have to make it that nobody can whisper, talk, move, nothing. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful opening. You've got a really good ear for sound. Really, really nice. But it is important, this thing of like trying to focus your audience a little bit before you start. If you can. It's not always possible.
But yeah, I see.
You know, you don't need to be sitting there waiting half an hour, waiting for everybody to like just settle down. But in a way, you need to make it clear. You know, could you do it just one more time?
Sure.
Absolutely lovely. And you're really kind of, you're forcing people into your space, which is what we want. I think if there's anything you can do without playing louder, no, I don't want to change anything because it's wonderful what you're doing, but just harmonically to think about. Okay, D, B flat, and then D, A sharp. It's so subtle. You know, as a listener, we don't kind of get those things because we just can't. But it means you have to be aware of it. It's where is he going with it? And then just be careful of just one thing. So here, you gave me kind of very nice Ds, but actually the A sharps disappeared slightly. They would disappear in a bigger space. And there's a crescendo through.
I still need to,
because we're always in the tradition of the slur going away, but sometimes we need to pronounce that third note. Just do that bar so I can hear. This is my favorite bar. I want to hear it again.
Just the bar before.
Keep it still. That's better, because I felt you were a little bit tempted to move.
Yeah,
I think just keep it. It's almost suffocating. It's like, there's no air in the room here. It's it's like we've been in just incredibly kind of hot. This is, it's sad, isn't it? It's just like in this dark forest kind of place, right? So there's no light here. So by moving a little bit too, it already will feel like it's moving.
Yeah.
But these bells, he liked those bells, didn't he?
Yeah,
you see,
in the first,
and and in the first.
Yeah, and also I think that in the other pieces as well, like
exactly. So, but then they shouldn't be kind of driving us anywhere. They're just there.
Yeah.
So just have the confidence just for them to be there. Could you just go right on that bar?
Oh, sorry, I forgot the. No, because
which way?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could possibly just do a little bit more on that first chord. Yeah. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, good. And have you experimented with the speed of that spread?
Oh, I think I actually didn't. I should
just try it. Just try it, just to see. It shouldn't sound like, we don't want to be a big shock.
Yeah.
But what happens if it's slightly faster or something? I don't know. Okay, that's maybe just a bit too agitato feeling. Something in the middle.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so go from the bar before and just give us 2 versions.
Yeah.
You can decide what the versions are. Can be half the speed if you want.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just a bit calmer and repeat. Okay, version 1.
Yeah, and then.
I prefer the first. The second's just a bit too much.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask the question about, you know, if you just keep... And also, do you want the balance all the way up the chord to be equally as thick?
Probably I mean, the upper note is a bit more since it has accent, right?
Yeah, it sounds quite solid all the way up. So you could just think, how do I actually want the sound of my chord to be?
Like more
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Could that sound a little bit more like one phrase when you get to the top?
Yeah.
It sounds like, here's this bit, here's that octave, here's another octave now. Dee da dee da dee da da, and just kind of go.
Sorry.
Okay, so dee da dee da da da da.
Yeah, from the
Just take a look. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm getting tons of the chord and not much else. I could have a little bit more brilliance, I think, at the top in certain areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can really work on how you want that to be. Yeah, don't forget your second and third fingers in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
They're the ones that don't want to do any work in the middle of that.
Yeah, I think my thumb gets like
Yeah,
very
your thumb probably gets a bit heavy and a bit stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
just keep, you can just make that a bit more sparkly and a bit more brilliant by making the...
Yeah.
It's almost like a kind of staccato. Yeah, okay, so I would just give that a bit of attention. Just do that big phrase. We're almost at the end. Yeah, go. Can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Yeah, I decided to do it like with the same finger.
I don't care how you do it. It sounds great.
Okay.
Find the movement. Sing. Sing. I think you're too soft.
Oh, too soft.
For me. Just I still want a little bit more substance.
The
balance. Dee. Get this. That's it, great. You see, you can't arrive at that point and do that magic if you haven't given me something before. And that might seem slightly exaggerated, but I think it will take it. You know, this is the difference between being in your practice room and speaking to your audience. You just have to give that little bit more. Okay, I know we do actually have to stop now, but I want you to play to the end because I can't end there. So let's go from that double bar.
Oh yeah.
Place it. Still. He calm? More. Soft as you can. More. Even more juice. Bit more on that.
Oh, and yeah.
I think make the whole bar sing, so you're really disappearing.
I
to-
disappeared,
Make
yeah.
the whole thing ring
Mm.
a little bit more. And more on this one. And then wait. And then really dark feeling. Bit slower. You're too fast.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's even slower.
Yeah.
Sticky. Can you just be careful it doesn't sound like 1, 2, 3, 1? And even softer. Take your time. Great. Very good.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and fantastic to hear all these wonderful people this morning. Thank you so much.